Here is my review of that newest episode of Picard. I want to use my hands to show you how good and terrible it was. Just want to tell you a few thoughts. I already made a video about it. I thought it was like I was talking too slow and stuff, and just want to tell you. Okay, so it's episode 1 of season 2 of Picard, and I want to say maybe it's setting us up for failure. Who knows? And maybe I'm really biased because I grew up with Star Trek: The Next Generation. I was watching it in the early 90s in Oregon as a little Oatmeal boy. What am I going to do but watch that? And then I started getting into Star Wars with Special Edition 97. But before that, it was all about Star Wars and, Star Trek. What am I thinking? I'm not thinking at all. Sometimes I'm not thinking, sometimes I am. But this first episode is interesting because it starts out with this kind of hook thing that you don't know what's going to happen until the end. This is the kind of thing that happens in some shows, and I think they were doing this a lot in the first season of Picard, and they're doing it again, and it starts off, they die, and you're like, oh no, why did they die? Well, there were some episodes kind of like that in The Next Generation, stuff like that, episodes like that, and it really makes you, think what's going to happen. I mean, obviously it's something to do with Q, if you've seen the trailers, and people are excited about that. Some people might not be excited about it in the sense of sometimes you get into the realm of, hey, how about you come up with new characters and whether it's Cobra Kai or something else. What are you saying? Well, I'm saying that I like it. I like Q. I like the character of Q. I don't want to sound retarded when I talk, but I want to say that I'm a little bit of a fanboy for Q, but not QAnon. But other than that, I think another thing that caught my attention was the love story and the backstory of Picard, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, okay, what are they gonna do with Picard, and what are they going to say about his mother? And are you still hanging out with your mother? And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about, I don't know, a couple different things. And I already made a video about this. Why am I making another video about this? Why am I uploading this? What am I doing? I don't know. Why am I talking too fast? Why am I talking too slow? I don't know. But as a writer, you have to, think, how am I going to entertain my audience? And how am I going to make everybody happy? Well, you can't make everybody happy. This is my pipe, and this is my life, and this is what's the dope are they doing with, what are they doing with the economy? The entertainment business is so bad. They're doing this and they're doing that, and I don't even have the words to really express it. I really feel like I don't even have the time to really be myself in front of a camera, even though I've been in front of the camera for a very long time. I enjoy people who are good at that, and sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But for people who are natural at it, you look at them and you're like, that's interesting. I was watching the one interview that Patrick Stewart, who plays Picard, he was talking to the other guy who used to be in the show back in the day, Will, and he has this show that goes over Picard, and he's like really excited, and it's kind of interesting, even though I kind of think it's kind of stupid, but I also think it's kind of cool, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool, and the old guy, how old is he? He's not as old as the guy who plays Kirk. What's his name? The guy that went into space? What's his name? The guy who was in Boston Public, or whatever that one show was? What's his name? Oh, man. Who played Kirk? I can't think of it. But he's like 90. But this guy, the guy that plays Picard, he's like 80. So they're both really old people. But, in the interview, he's looking at Will, and he's like, I'm talking to you is therapy, but, it's not real therapy, but, seeing your smile is therapy. And I'm like, who are you? Are you that one guy on Facebook who's talking to me? No offense. I don't know. I'm joking. I have no idea. I don't want to say, little boys and pedophiles and Catholics, and I'm not saying anything. But, I think it's interesting. But I'm not trying to throw too much at Picard. I mean, the actor, I don't know what my thoughts are exactly. He's just who he is, kind of thing. The stuff that he's said over the years, politically speaking, it might be a little off, or it might be not what I agree with if he's a little too leftist, and I don't want to say liberal, and I don't want to bring politics into a review video kind of thing, even though I'm the kind of person who's like all over the place in the stuff that I do on the internet the last 20 years or whatever. And as I grow up and everything, especially online, growing up online, I think to myself, maybe I want to be a little normal, not too normal, but I want to like do stuff like other people do, stuff like, oh, I want to upload a normal review video, and other stuff too. And I think about it, and sometimes I go back and forth, and I always go back and forth, and I'm writing articles and stuff, and I'm like trying to explain myself, but it's like, how do you explain yourself? And better yet, if you're making a show and you're trying to figure out how to do something like Picard, how do you do it? Well, I don't know, but here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm a little disappointed about entertainment, movies and shows and stuff. I mean, I still get a little entertained at times when I'm watching something, and I try to, write about it on my daily blog. I'm not saying that anybody's reading it. I don't care. I'm doing it. Maybe it's therapy, too. I don't have to, sometimes I'm watching my own videos, and it's therapy. It's, smile, but then other times I'm looking at it, I'm like, why are you smiling? And so, you better stop smiling, or maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't. I don't know, but, and sometimes I'm so animated, I'm thinking, are you being yourself? Well, I know myself pretty well, so I know that I am, but at the same time, I know that it could look sincere or not sincere. What am I saying? What I'm going to say? Are you going to see the most and greatest fight in the world? I don't know, but here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I have my thoughts, and I'm still working on my life, I'm working on my pipe, working on my wife. Don't have one. What am I saying? I'm saying that this is a review video. I'm saying this animated contest is still ongoing. I'm saying that I still got work to do. Hey bummers, we got work to do, as the Newsies people would say back 100+ years ago. I'm not saying that I'm the greatest guy making the videos, but I'm uploading the video. I'm uploading videos and writing articles because I feel like it, even if I'm stupid, even if I'm retarded, even if it's not very good. And if you don't like it, you better get out. You pimp because I'm cool. I'm not gonna rule that game. I don't know where. Yeah, there you go. That's it's interesting. I'm gonna work on it and try to get better at myself and stuff. And if you don't like it, you better get out. Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. That was one of the songs I had 20 years ago, like back in high school. I was like, oh. And I like being myself and stuff. And I think it's good to focus on what works and throw away what doesn't work so much. And in regards to Picard, I'm thinking to myself, I want to see more of the original characters kind of thing. But Patrick is like, no, it's not about them. It's about me. And even though the first season is about this robot girl, and then I become a robot, and then now it's like, oh no, I'm a robot, and not totally a robot. Maybe he already had an artificial heart all these years, and ain't no lover for him. And what's he gonna do when the going gets tough and tough gets going? Is he gonna be able to handle everything? I don't know, but this video is not going to be very good, and I don't care, and I'm just going to upload anyways, just like all the other videos and thousands of videos that I've uploaded on the internet. Why is this video going to be any different? Maybe someday, I may get better at it, and maybe they'll get better. I mean, you think, if all these people are making videos and uploading it, and we got this culture going against the microphone abusers who are in Hollywood doing all these terrible crap going on, and, hopefully we turn this the tide, and you got people like Doomcock and all these other geeks and the gamers and all other people doing stuff, uploading stuff, and going live, Friday Night Tights and all this other stuff going on. And I think it's kind of cool, and then here I am missing it. Maybe you're like disgusted. I mean, some people are watch my video like, who are they? And other people's like, oh yeah, I know them. Don't bring them up. you're I need to wash my hands. You can't say those names. You can't associate them. Or maybe you can. I'm doing it. Maybe it's a joke, and it's not a joke, and I'm kind of being like two-sided right now, but I think it's kind of funny. So I try to say stuff that I think is funny, but sometimes I'm a little too conscious, self-conscious. Speaking of that, Matrix 4 was pretty self-conscious, was kind of cool and kind of not cool. They got mixed reviews, but this video is not about that. But you know, it's like, how conscious can you be? How self-aware can you be? Like, I'm self-aware of my spitting when I'm talking sometimes. Oh no! But I feel like how self-aware is too self-aware. Like, if you're breaking the fourth wall. I remember watching all 7 seasons of Once Upon a Time, and I really liked that. It was on ABC, I believe, and I was watching it on my computer, and I really enjoyed how they intermixed all these nursery rhymes and all these different kind of fables and legends and stories of, like, Little Red Riding Hood and the Wizard of Oz and all, I don't know, Cinderella, all these different things all intermixed together. Like, ooh, we're all about equality, except that, I mean, I'm joking, but it's really cool because it's like it's all mixed together. But I remember thinking, I was thinking about how they may have broke the fourth wall a few times, I think, and some shows and some movies are really good at doing that, and with Picard, it's I don't think they do it at all, and I think that's good that you don't do it. Sometimes you don't want to do it, depending on the kind of story that you want to tell, and I mean the kind of genre, especially, like, is it, you know, what kind of genre and what kind of story do you want to tell, kind of thing, and I'm thinking to myself, that I'm totally biased and everything. I'm gonna try to love Picard. I'm gonna try to love Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is a lot worse than what we have with Picard. Picard is not as bad, but you see it a little bit. But it's interesting that I think Picard is an admiral again, or at least he's involved with the Academy, and I think that's really good in a way. But it's like, they had a lot of women leaders. This is in the first season of Picard, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but as Seinfeld would say about the gay people, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, except when you try to demonize men at the same time as to weaponize that kind of thing, and that's what people do. And I'm not saying that I'm really good at saying stuff like that and explaining my stuff, at least not yet, but I am going to say that I'm really sucked into the story, the universe of Star Trek, and so I'm gonna like make it work inside my mind, just like I did with the Star Wars prequels, and I used to upload videos about that, and I would try to justify and stuff, and you can justify it and like it, and it doesn't really matter in some ways because it's just a story kind of thing, but it's a big deal for a lot of people, and a lot of soy boys, or what do they call those things, and like Peter Pan's growing up and not growing up, and you're still playing video games and still inside your basement, or the Arnold attic. What am I doing here? And it's kind of pathetic but cool at the same time. There's the paradox in all of this, and I think it's kind of cool, and I'm trying to clear up my thoughts. I'm trying to talk fast enough. I'm trying to learn how to talk, and hopefully the producers in Hollywood learns how to tell stories better, and like they used to, and but there's an agenda, and what am I gonna do? And the only thing you can do is talk about talk about how to talk, and talk about how to love. Wait, no, what am I saying? Talk about what you love to talk about. Talk about what you care about. And with Picard, because I grew up with Picard, I want to know what they do with him. Good or bad, good and bad, and so I'm just looking at it, and I'm not a fangirl like Will, and Will can do what he wants, and he's entertaining, but he's also probably, I would imagine, SJW or whatever, and I hate to say that, and like, saying certain words can distance yourself from some people who might be watching the videos, the kind of thing, and I think about that too. Like, do I try to say certain things so that everybody can watch me, and who's watching your videos, I don't know, but I guess a few people do sometimes, but I think it's kind of cool. But a word of advice to anybody uploading videos would be, don't try to think too much about who's gonna watch it. And I do that, and I shouldn't be doing that, but it's like, I mean, you do that and you don't want to do that. I mean, it really does depend on too many things, but you have to find yourself, and if I can't find myself, then don't worry if you can't either, and you cannot, like, you can, but you cannot, but sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't, and then, as a character for Picard, always going back to Picard, because this is what the video's about, can Picard find himself? And I would say it depends on where you want to take the character. I mean, it's like, in reviewing Picard, there's a couple different things you can look at, or different elements you can focus on. Like, you can focus on how well the story is presented, and how beautiful or ugly it may be, and in those regards, it's pretty well done, of course. But in regards to the exact character development of Picard and the characters, or lack therein, or lack thereof, it's like, it may be lacking, or it may be going all over the place, or not developed, or not focused, or especially with the first season being so focused on some of the characters that you don't know about. And it's interesting in a sense, especially if it wasn't Picard, if it was like some random show with a random name. Here's some random people going to space. It's going to be a little bit like Firefly, but a little bit different, and a wide variety of things. And in that regard, it's a little bit interesting. And in regards to continuing a legacy, it's not as well done as you would hope for, in the sense of, you want to see Picard. If you're watching a show called Picard, it should focus on him, and in the first season it wasn't. And in this first episode, it has a pretty good hook, and they can throw it back down the toilet kind of thing, like they do with what am I saying? Mandalorian, Star Wars Mandalorian, and the Book of Boba Fett, or as some people like to call him, Bubba. Oh no, I don't know. I'm trying to make up a joke, but it didn't work. I was thinking, oh, Bobby. I was thinking, oh, that was from The Expanse. I was thinking, my mind was like trying to come up with something. I thought I was thinking of something. I was like, Bubba reminds me of Bobby's World, and I don't know, but I'm thinking out loud, and I'm thinking to myself, I should probably write this down, or find an app that can turn my audio into written text, and I can copy and paste it into my articles and posts, and I don't have to write, I don't have to type, and that would be cool. But I haven't done that yet. But until then, I'm thinking to myself, what a beautiful world, and I have a lot on my mind, and I feel like I can do a lot better if I wrote it out. Maybe that might be a better idea, if I could write out what I'm gonna say, and then make a shorter video, like a 2-minute video, where I'm like, okay, here are the main points. But let's just say today I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not coming out, as Christina Aguilera would say, I'm coming out, so you better get your party started. But my party is not here. If they build it, then people will come. If I build it, will anybody come? I don't know. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and shame on me. But who's fooling who at this moment? Is Hollywood still fooling us with the entertainment? Now, are they going to throw Picard into an even deeper hole of depravity, and what's that gonna look like? And are they just setting us up for more failure? And the answer is maybe yes, maybe no, maybe a combination of both, because I don't know what's going on. But there's a lot of people who want to suck us down the hole of depravity and stuff, and it's pretty demeaning and stuff. But at the same time, I try to enjoy whatever I can while also speaking out on the things that I don't like, and I think that's only human. I'm human, I think. And last time I checked, I had red blood coming out of my body. And I was like, wow, what's this? And, well, I'm going to drink it. No, I'm not a vampire like some people in England. And the king and the queen, who are they? And wow. And I was thinking about, a little while ago, I was thinking, I have not seen some of those first few movies by George Lucas in the 60s and 70s. He had like a student film in the 60s, and then he had that one film in the early 70s, and it's something about the future. It's something to do with some kind of science fiction thing about not a long time ago. This was before Star Wars, and so it would be not Star Trek either, but a little bit more. I would imagine like Minority Report or Judge Dredd or The Matrix. Maybe not The Matrix. Maybe Wall-E. I don't know. These are just some of the movies that come to my mind when I'm thinking about the future. And Star Trek does not come to my mind, even though it'd be cool kind of thing. And that's why I'm so much of a crybaby. I want to be like a fangirl kind of thing. I thought I wasn't a fangirl, but maybe I am. Maybe I need to eat a bagel. I got a bagel. There's a hole in the middle. And, I don't think that eating this is gonna, make me feel better right away. It takes a while to really turn the tide around. And, like, same thing goes with, like, Hollywood and everything else. Culture and politics and the whole world. Like, you can't just turn things around instantaneously. The weirdos out there, they're controlling us and they want us to want war with different countries, and that's always been the case for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years in some cases, but mostly the last 300 or 400 years. They come in and they fund both sides of wars. You can see that, like, even with, like, the War of 1812 or around that era, they were funding both sides, and that happened again in the 1900s, and that's happening now too in the 2000s. And you have to ask yourself, what's their end game? And it's pretty demonic. It's pretty devastating, and they're really destroying culture. And if you're aware of it, then they can't destroy your culture inside of you. It's like yogurt. It's like you want to be the yogurt inside of you before you can be the yogurt inside. It's not funny, but it's like, it makes me laugh. So I'm not like, I'm a weird person like that, but it's like, I think it's a bagel is making me into yogurt, and then I'll turn into oatmeal. What am I talking about? I don't know. I like saying weird stuff and random stuff. Sometimes it has meaning and sometimes it doesn't, but I think it's really cool if you can be yourself. And that authenticity is a rare thing that they tell you not to go for, or they tell you to go for it to a total extreme that will totally destroy yourself. And a lot of times you need a lot of subtle nuance in being where you are and in the kind of person that you want to be. But a lot of times we grow up with extreme stereotypes in the kind of characters and actors and kind of stories that we are told in movies and shows. There are a lot of extremes, and it's understandable that when you're telling a story you kind of have to do that to a degree, but when it's weaponized, then it can destroy your own sense of identity in trying to find yourself and locate yourself. And in the end, when you grow up, you may end up a certain way, which can be predicted, like a stereotype can predict outcomes. But at the same time, you really need the freedom to get there on your own. And when you're forced to like go against it, then it's like being forced off the track of your own mind, of your own soul and everything. And it's done on purpose in a lot of cases. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. So what am I saying? Is this still a Picard review? I don't know. I think I'm so hungry, I can't even think about Picard. I'm hungry for a lot of good things, I think, I hope. You know, I justify it and I believe in it. Right or wrong, I do what I do in my life. Whatever that means. What, if you know, you know. Until you know, you don't know. But it's like, I'm hungry for that. But it's like, what does the Borg Queen want? I don't know. And like you see her and she's like a Power Ranger. And it's like, who are you? Why is there a hell? Is that your mother? Is that Picard's mother? Did Picard have a mother? In the interview, Will's like, oh, Picard, who is your mother? And the memories, and he's like, well, you know, in anybody's life, you look back at somebody's life, and you look at yourself, and you try to remember your childhood memories, and it may not be totally accurate. This may be true for me in my own personal life as Patrick Stewart, and even as my character, Picard, and I look back at my life, and maybe, I can't say any more about that. And so I'm thinking to myself, what is he talking about in this interview? I thought it was kind of eye-opening, and I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh my word, what are you talking about? And, they can take it any direction they want to take it, kind of thing, and, I'm just going to watch it for better or for worse and comment on it so that you don't have to. Or you can do it. You can watch it too. It doesn't really matter. But at the same time, life is about balance. You're really going to find balance in your life. That's what life is all about. And life's about love. And love is about life. It's a big circle of life and love. And what does that mean? And people don't know what things mean anymore if they don't take the time to really dive deep into what things mean, and that's a devastating thing, but it's like, what are you gonna do when the cookie crumbles? Where are you gonna go when the bagel gets inside your mouth? I don't know, but I like the characters in Picard, even though they're not the characters that I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of the other characters from Next Generation, but this is Picard. This is not Next Generation revival, even though it could have been, and it kind of was in a few episodes, a few cameos, and they throw in 7 of 9, which is a good character, and she's different now, which is okay if you want to change her character to turn her more into the actress and less 7 of 9, but 7 of 9 is still there, sort of, and the Picard character is sort of there too. It's really hard to say exactly whether or not it's more Picard or more Patrick Stewart that you see on the screen. I would imagine this first episode is a little bit more a little bit more Picard. My mind is working backwards. I'm gonna end the video now. But, or maybe I don't have to. I'm saying